Well, our F1 correspondent Evan Roberts joins us live now from Las Vegas. Max Verstappen just clinched another world title there, Evan. How do you think the state of Formula One is at the moment with a multiple world champion like Max sort of winning again?
Thank you, John. Yes, I'm here in Vegas today. It's been an interesting Grand Prix. Max Verstappen's just won his 4th title, equaling Sebastian Vettel. There's 4 titles in Red Bull, 4 in succession as well. It was a very good race in Vegas, won by George Russell, but with 4 titles now for Verstappen, 4 on the bounce, some could consider it maybe getting a bit too dominant. But I think as we've seen over the past year, there has been more teams able to compete with Red Bull for the championship, and Max Verstappen has been the difference maker.
Yeah, it's a closer race this year, I think, than people might think first off, Evan, for sure. What would you think the addition of like an 11th team do to F1 as a spectacle, and how might it improve it?
So we've seen this year that there was talks of Andretti Global joining the grid. They were rejected. They were accepted by the FIA. They got approval to be the 11th team, but F1 rejected them on the basis of they thought Andretti would gain more from entering than they would add to the sport, basically. So they were rejected, but recently there's been new talks of GM, General Motors, bringing Cadillac onto the grid, which I think itself, as an massive American brand, would bring huge rise in fans and American revenue to the sport.
Yeah, I think you could be right. We're coming to the end of the season. There's just a couple of races left. Looks like there could be 4 rookies for 2025. How do you think they'll get on?
I think we'll have all 4 have shown in their junior careers they can win. So I think they will do very well.
Evan Roberts, thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Solent Sports News with me, Evan Roberts. I am joined now by athletics member and runner Katie Upton.
Hello.
Hi. So how was it you were introduced to athletics and running in general?
So it takes me back to when I was in junior school, which is quite a while ago, that I joined the athletics team. And unfortunately, obviously then COVID happened, which affected a lot of people, but it meant I could no longer be taking part in the team because it all got put virtually. And so I decided to take up running, and also during COVID as well, unfortunately my grandma passed away, and she had about, I think it was around 5 different cancers, and so I decided that for her I wanted to focus on working up to being able to do a marathon on behalf of her, on like the cancers and raising money for it. So that's where it started.
So within athletics, what discipline is it that you do?
Within athletics, I do 1,500, but outside of that, I also run 9K a day.
Wow,
so.
Impressive. So how would you say the running and just athletics in general has helped you in your day-to-day life?
In general, as someone who struggles with 3 different mental health issues, it's definitely something that helps me to sort of get a relief from everything. And athletics isn't necessarily a competition that you're competing against other people. It's always something that you're competing against yourself. So it's always trying to beat your time or your distance. So it's never you're never letting yourself down in a way. You're always progressing in some sort of direction. And I think that helps a lot just in general and mentally as well.
So in terms of goals and stuff in athletics, is there anything you're working towards?
So I want to, obviously, like I mentioned, I want to do a marathon, not just on behalf of my grandma, but also now because I absolutely love running. So after uni, I'm aiming to complete the London Marathon. That's the goal. But between now and then, I really want to be able to work on at least completing a 10K marathon, then a half marathon. At least my goal is by sort of April, March time next year to be doing a half marathon.
So when is it you thinking of doing the London Marathon? Is that next year, or are we thinking a
maybe
few
the following year? Give myself some extra time.
Yeah, there you go. And so just in terms of training, what does a typical sort of training week look like for you?
Training, obviously, like I mentioned, I do 9Ks a day, so that's consistent running, because without running it's sort of well, when you take a bit of time off, it kind of sets you back a bit. But in terms of the shorter distances, like 1,500, it's about 2 times a week training on track, which consists of one session being more sprint and speed based, and then one being more endurance based, which combined obviously then.
So timing wise, what is your like best time, I'd say?
My best time, I'd say I could probably give you a best time for 5 kilometers, which would be around about 23, 22 minutes. I know that my quickest, I used to do sprinting, my quickest for sprinting was 14.3 seconds for 100 meters. But I definitely focus more on distance than I do on speed.
Thank you, Katie, for joining
You're
us.
welcome, thank you.
Well, it's now time for a short break. I'll be back with some more sports news in just a few minutes. See you soon. I'm here at St Mary's Stadium, where only a mere 2 days ago the Saints captured their first win of the Premier League season in a decisive 1-0 victory over Everton, ending the Toffees' 5-game unbeaten run. A late goal by Adam Armstrong secured all 3 points for Southampton, as the striker scored his first goal of the season to move the Saints within a win of getting out of the relegation zone. Something they'll be hoping to do on the weekend as they head up to the Midlands to face bottom of the table side Wolves. I've been Evan Roberts reporting for Solent Sports News.